Good, happy Saturday morning, April 25th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Saturday morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Hopefully you're all having a great Saturday morning. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get this Saturday off to a good start. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy some Good Morning New Hampshire, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. But first, we're going to begin with the news, and we're going to start with your local news first. In local news, 2 more deaths linked to COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Governor extends state of emergency. Community-based transmission continues to grow in state. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
Mid-states.
And tonight, 2 more deaths in the state connected to COVID-19 as Governor Sununu extends the state of emergency in New Hampshire. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Jean Mackin. This is not an extension of the stay-at-home order. It continues the state of emergency that requires a renewal every 3 weeks.
But as he announces that extension, we are also learning that some popular parts of the National Forest in New Hampshire are closing.
Those closures include several trailheads, day-use areas, and recreation facilities. Other areas of the White Mountain National Forest are still open. Rangers say crowds are getting too big for people to keep a safe distance, and some are ignoring guidelines.
And so the changes come as New Hampshire's number of cases grows again. The state now has more than 1,000 current confirmed cases of COVID-19. There have been more than 1,700 known cases since the outbreak began, and there are 53 deaths connected to the virus. 578 people have recovered.
Tonight, the U.S. has more than 50,000 deaths from more than 884,000 known cases. 81,000 people have recovered. Worldwide, there are more than 2.7 million confirmed cases.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. And here is a look at that COVID-19 information, what you need to know. There are 1,720 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 889,661 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 53 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 224 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 50,890 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire right here shows you where cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. There are 154 cases of COVID-19 in Nashua, New Hampshire. And this chart right here shows you new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. Why don't the numbers add up? And here is your question why. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases and current hospitalizations. And cumulative totals. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. And in the blue, recovered. This chart here shows you COVID-19 by age group. And by sex, female, this is how many female cases and male cases. And risk information. race/ethnicity of cases, and percent of populations. Your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, California restaurants to get public money for healthy meals. Governor of California says California restaurants will get taxpayer money to feed millions of seniors during the coronavirus pandemic. California restaurants will get taxpayer money to feed millions of seniors during the coronavirus pandemic, but only if they can offer meals with fresh fruit, vegetables, and no sugary drinks. The governor of California said Friday the requirements reflect California's values through lawmakers have repeatedly failed to impose special taxes and requiring warning labels for sugary drinks in the past. Now let's take a look at your coronavirus live updates for around the whole world. WHO warns against immunity passports. The global COVID-19 death toll nears 200,000. Today's biggest developments. U.S. cases top 900,000. Global death toll nears 200,000. And dozens of inmates test positive in Colorado. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. Your weather right now is cloudy, 48 degrees. And your weather for today, sun and clouds, mixed, high, 62 degrees, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire life. In today's New Hampshire life segment, officials shut down several White Mountain National Forest trailheads. Officials cite unseasonably high number of visitors to forest, raising potential for spread of COVID-19. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
Mid-States Healthcare.
Forest officials say they've seen unseasonably high numbers of visitors in recent weeks.
Large amount of cars and vehicles in parking areas and groups of people congregating in these parking lots.
And that's causing concern over the possible spread of COVID-19 on the trails.
We can only imagine what was going on up the trails as far as people crossing lanes with each other as they're going in opposite directions.
To prevent that kind of interaction as much as possible, the White Mountain National Forest is shutting down several high-use trailheads, day-use areas, and dispersed recreation facilities.
We felt that as part of our duty to not only protect the safety and health of our employees on the forest, but also the local communities.
Parking at the trailheads and on most roads is prohibited, but visitors who can walk to the trails are able to use them. The closures will remain in effect until Governor Sununu lifts his stay-at-home order.
We didn't take this lightly. It took a lot of time to go and approach this, and some long days and long conversations amongst the forest leadership team to come to this decision.
And now the White Mountain National Forest has provided an interactive map showing which trailheads are closed. You can find that over on our website and in our mobile app. For WMUR, I'm Tim Callery.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we have a warning of cleaning supplies segment for you all. New warning issued over cleaning supply usage. Let's take a listen to that video from Good Morning America.
We are back now with a GMA safety alert. The CDC releasing new warnings about a dramatic increase in calls to poison centers about potentially dangerous exposure to cleaning and disinfectant products. Becky Worley is joining us now from San Francisco. Good morning, Becky.
Good morning, Amy. We are disinfecting our homes, our phones, our everything right now. But this high-stakes cleaning spree has some warnings you need to hear.
Spray, wipe, rinse. But what seems like a straightforward process to keep us healthy is sending more people to poison control hotlines and in some cases, the ER.
Nationally, we have definitely seen an increase in certain types of calls.
Data released by the CDC this week shows a 20% increase in calls from January to March related to cleaners and disinfectants compared to last year. One of the big problems, people mixing household cleaners like bleach with ammonia. Also bleach with vinegar, which experts say you shouldn't do because it can create harmful fumes. It's especially happening in unventilated spaces. The exposure can lead to blurry vision, skin, and lung irritation.
We really have to be cautious and just stick with one product.
Julie Weber worked with the CDC to collect the data.
Seems like almost every fourth call is a type of cleaning product call here today.
Weber sharing with GMA some of the calls her Missouri Poison Center is receiving.
A young child in a home that had an exposure to a liquid general formula household formulation of bleach that we did receive a call on.
Another problem, these little bottles of hand sanitizer. They're out on countertops and accessible in almost all our homes right now.
Another 23-month-old with hand sanitizer.
While a dime-sized amount on a child's hands won't pose an issue, if a child swallows multiple pumps, Poison Control says that could result in a trip to the emergency room.
The takeaway, keep hand sanitizer away from small children. Don't mix products. It's not just the obvious branded bleaches or ammonia. Often our name brand products have those elements inside of them. And when you clean, Amy, keep a window open.
Yeah, all very important to remember. But the truth is, a lot of those disinfectants that we're used to just buying off store shelves are sold out. So people are mixing their own at home. So remind us of what those guidelines should be.
Right. Single-use products. So they say 1 teaspoon of bleach to 1 cup of room temperature, not hot water. You want to label anything you put it in. And then there's some evidence that the efficacy of these diluted bleach mixtures, it really goes down fast. So you want to make small batches and make them as often as every week.
Okay, good to know, Becky. And of course, keep them out of reach for young children, because that's the thing we're seeing from the Poison Control Center. Becky, thank you so much.
Well, hey there, Jim.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Good tips there. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into your entertainment news. In entertainment news, Kris Jenner gets tipsy after 13 glasses of wine. Let's take a look at that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Jen, during her weekend for
I'm sorry, what was that, Kris Jenner?
It was just so fun to watch.
In a new clip for Thursday's episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the Kardashian crew takes a trip to wine country to celebrate Kris's boyfriend Corey Gamble's birthday. But to be honest, it was Kris who partied like it was her birthday.
So this last winery is kind of our go-to whenever we come to Napa, so it's tradition to stop by. My mom, every time so far, gets her drunkest at this winery.
The momager kept the tradition alive with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 glasses of wine.
Guys, I'm going to start at the right and work myself to the left.
You better do it, girl.
Yeah.
Kris got so tipsy, the wine started talking.
Everything.
What
Sorry,
just happened?
I can't talk. Clearly, they have amazing alcohol because Chris is two sheets to the wind, as she would say.
Such a mood. I'm here for it.
Chris knows best.
During their winery tour, Chris continued to live her best life.
My 13th glass. 13 is my lucky number.
From dancing around her boyfriend to having a straight-up laugh attack. Wait, it gets even better. Clearly, they had a great trip.
I think my mom is really into wine in general, and she definitely just could go on and on.
This is not the only time we've seen drunk Chris at the vineyards.
A walkie-talkie. A walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie.
My mom is just drunk at all times, so you know. What are we going to do with that?
Well then, let's just end this with a game. Drink for every favorite drunk moment with Chris.
This is her lucky night!
The drunk is coming. The drunk.
You think we're drunk?
The drunk. Hello, mother. My mom is just opening up toothbrushes and brushing her teeth.
Literally chugging wine.
Mom, live your life, Mom. Live your life.
Cheers.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very crazy there. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today. Let's see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And thank you for watching this Saturday edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching this edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone. I'll see you back here next time for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone.